Bonjour, Dr. Edward home from Montreal with the Gnosis of Life series. This piece is on gods versus ET. Who will win out depends on your definition of God and, of course, ET. In the West, we are more science-minded than any of the cultures in the East. We have a preconceived conception that says God can only be described as the one from the Bible. We also say that ET might exist, but we just don't know and cannot be so sure. To maintain this way of thinking is to simply subscribe to consensus reality, thereby closing our minds to what may really be the story behind the stories that we all learned and either loved or avoided with apathy. What if the God of the Bible describes is not the creator, or what many simply call the higher power? What if ET really does exist, has visited us many times, and our ancestors even wrote a book about them, calling it the Bible? Both plausible to anyone that chooses to think outside the box, and in both cases, so very true and to a point. Our ancestors, in writing all the works, which once gathered together became our Bible, were trying to put the story of what they experienced and how they saw things back then in a manner we could understand. Unfortunately, the way they talked back in those days and the way we talk today are quite different. First and foremost, they spoke and wrote in a language that, other than as a root for some languages today, are no longer used and have to be translated into a translation that gets translated into another translation, and so on. While much of the English Bible was translated from Hebrew, most of the original writings were in ancient Greek, the language of the day and the synagogues. A simple misunderstanding in what a word meant can go a long way to confuse things. Take, for example, the Hebrew word we equate to God, as in creator. It is written in the original text to mean Lord. By factoring in that one simple word adjustment, we can see how it is today so many, starting from those in the East, use the word gods, plural, in order to describe a Lord, or more precise, an attribute of the Creator made manifest. We are the ones stuck with God meaning creator, whereas the Hindus' thousands of gods are in fact various attributes and names of the one creator. As for ET, there are too many encounters from too many credible sources for them not to be true. Ergo, ET exists, has been here, is here, and will likely always be around us in some form or another. Sorry, we don't have any full film footage of them that we can find, but we do have a lot of footage of their aircraft from both the average person, wherever the encounter was, to the extensive detailed footage of NASA. No, NASA did not readily release the material, nor have they yet admitted UFOs exist. But as one can see in the live footage, there are too many of them flying around the space capsules, space shuttles, to be ignored as fakes. There have been admitted to exist by so many highly credible people, as well as the government of the USSR and other countries. It is simply time that the US government stops playing us all as children and start respecting us as adult humans that are capable of logical, critical thinking. For now, to get yourself up to speed with this seeming paradox of God, gods, and ETs, watch Zeitgeist as well as The Greatest Story Ever Denied on Google, and then follow your heart from there. Yes, there are ETs, and yes, there is only one creator. Go to primordiality.com if you want the science of what our creator is. Please remember, we are a soul in a human suit. There is a higher power that connects us all. The egos are the issue we all face, but by requiting Om's love, we learn to love correctly and be all we can be. Thanks for your interest in your Gnostic, aka True Self.